part of our business. But perhaps I should begin by introducing myself. My name is Tony Okonedo. I'm Manager Corporate Communications and Public Affairs of Nigeria LNG. No planned safety drills this morning, so if you hear an alarm, it's for real. As we came in and do a ride through the reception area out to the car park where the muster points are. Places are also, outside towards the right there, ladies and gents, just in case everybody needs to answer the call of nature. Refreshments are on the table this morning. Will be to do formal introductions of the members of the advisory board for the Nigeria Prize for Literature. It gives me great pleasure, Professor Emeritus, Professor Ayobanjo. Please put your hands together for him. Reliably informed, the last time we met, the correct affiliation for the third member. I would like to say, and these are, the ladies and gentlemen have come from, across the country. Some near, some not so near. But, I'd like to invite someone who's been associated with this whole, construction, myself, my boss, in person of the General Manager, Corporate External Relations for Nigeria LNG, to say a few words.
Thank you. Literature. Occasionally, I find some errors in the manner in which the prize is referred to in the media as NLNG Prize. That's not correct. The real appellation of the prize is the Nigeria Prize for Literature, supported, sponsored by Nigeria LNG. Now, it was important for me to emphasize this because the entire reason for being, the way we have summarized it as a philosophy of Nigeria LNG, is to help to build a better Nigeria. So we're focused on whatever it is that can be done to improve Nigeria in any form. And that is the reason why we support the Nigeria Prize for Literature. I'll probably go a little bit more in some detail in the course of my welcome address, if I may call it that. So let me seize this opportunity to welcome the new members of the panel. Remains unquestionable. And for us, indeed, as a company, that is extremely important for it to remain so. It is not for nothing that Nigeria LNG's values are integrity, teamwork, excellence, and caring, beginning with integrity. So, a warm welcome to you, to the professors, Professor Yarima, Professor Angia, the chairman of the panel, Charity Angia, and Professor Yarima, and Professor Nasir. Thank you so much for accepting to be on the panel. It's not an easy job, I would say, because over the years we've come to learn that indeed there are loads of very good creative writers in Nigeria and also outside Nigeria who compete for the prize. And so sometimes it takes a whole lot to make a distinction between the excellent from the very good. So it's not a job that I would easily apply for. It's a difficult one. But we are confident, we are more than confident that you will deliver the way that your predecessors have delivered. So thank you indeed for accepting to be on the panel. super permanent secretaries. You know, the judges come and go depending on what genre of the is maintained and continues from one generation of judges on to another. So, because now that you have become judges of the panel on this prize, there is absolutely no doubt that you will be confronted with questions, issues that will require your basic knowledge of what Nigeria LNG does. Now, you may not believe me, but watch it. It will happen. So I think I would need to say a few words about Nigeria LNG, which I think might be useful to help us to answer some of those, at least some basic questions that we might confront. And I also say this for the benefit of the press, because sometimes we take it for granted that our colleagues in the press know everything about the company. Nigeria LNG, NLNG just basically means Nigeria LNG. It was incorporated in 1989, essentially with three purposes. It was just a waste product, but it was a product that wasted our environment as well. And probably the most important reason for most people who are in love with the environment, Nigeria LNG came to be. But for Nigeria LNG, the country would still be, as at the time that Nigeria LNG came on board, flaring what in professional circles, those flares, the flares have all almost gone off. Not completely, but to a large extent. Less than 20% as of today. So that is the main reason that Nigeria LNG was born. And it's not often on the NNPC, like that, representing the federal government. And to diversify the base, but let's just say simply that those who invested in the company has reaped to some extent tenfold or more. Because sometimes people think we're a gas company, so we produce gas. That is not true. Nigeria LNG buys gas from the upstream. The pipeline is to fetch the gas to the plant. And one of the reasons why we are in Bonny is because we've done the same for water, and we've done the same for educational support. We've done the same for health and Bonny or host communities in order to inspire them to become better educated and become better persons. It is that we do with our host communities, but we also got involved with the Nigeria Prize development of the country. So creativity certainly is something that we thought needed, especially in creative writing, something that we needed to support.
It gives me great honor to invite the chairman of the advisory board.
That way, and if you've been following, as I'm sure everybody here has been following, whether as academics who are a panel of judges or as media people who comment on what we do every year, you'll find that there has been a progression in the response that the prize gets every year. So that pleases us. And the general manager did emphasize that one thing that we are very particular about is the question of merit. Whoever gets the prize must clearly merit it. Nothing interferes with the search for excellence. That is what we want. And for this reason, we've had a little unfortunate episodes, particularly 5 years ago in 2009, when the panel of judges were brave enough to say nobody deserved the prize. And some people felt affronted that a panel of judges should say in the whole of Nigeria, nobody deserved a prize. But the panel stood its ground. The advisory board stood its ground. Rotten eggs were thrown at them, but they didn't mind. But this is the price you pay if you are determined in your search for excellence. I'm glad to say that since the 2009 episode, we have not been able to say there's no those two prizes. And may I say that in 2009, the NLNG has been very gracious to convert the prize for that year to a grant to the Nigerian Academy of Letters, which the Academy in turn used to run a writing workshop at the University of Ibadan, a workshop that was very successful. So in all ways, we are promoting the same end. Now also, the board has had to be receptive to criticisms and ideas that are generated in the public place. And one of the ways in which we have changed our methods is in throwing the prize open to any Nigerian anywhere in the world. You know, we started out as a prize for Nigerians living in Nigeria. And some people complained, and we saw that, yes, it's not as if this prize is not good enough to be competed for by anybody outside the world. We are not just creating a small standard here in Nigeria. So we open the gates to everybody who wants to come. And then we should also find an international consultant. And we tried that experiment last year, not knowing, of course, what would be the outcome. But we are exceedingly pleased that a distinguished scholar and writer who served as the international consultant came to the very same conclusion that the internal panel came to. And that means that there's no question at all about the merit of the prize being given to Padiola. So the board is receptive to ideas. This is, I think, without boasting about it, currently the most important prize for literature in Africa. Again, in terms of the size of the prize, and also in terms of the competition being made for it. And we are glad also that other people have been following NLNG in trying to do something for literature. Other prizes for literature have arisen. Now, we are conscious also that we started out as one of a pair of twins. And our twin brothers are the science people. We worry, we've talked about them today, because we don't think that because we are pursuing excellence in literature, we should close our eyes to the fundamental needs of this country. In the 21st century, science is very, very important. And we show an interest in what goes on in science. At the moment, perhaps you would say that the prize for literature is more active than the prize for science. But we do hope that in due course, this will be corrected. Now, let me thank the media, the press. They've supported us in this way every year. They've given us a good coverage in the newspapers. They've discussed what we have been doing critically. Some of them, they criticize us. Others praise us. Well, that's to be expected. But we want to thank you for showing this interest, because in the final analysis, what you do here gets known to the general public through your activities. And we hope that you will continue to do that. I would also like to thank the panel. What happens is that early in the year, we have an advertisement put out inviting entries. And the entries usually close about the end of March, which is why we are here now, because we just received all the entries for drama for this year. And when we get